It's country night on The Masked Singer, and we have a repeat performance from the Fairy, and we also meet the Axolotl, whatever the hell that is, and the Macaw. Let's talk The Masked Singer. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It, and welcome to my Masked Singer recap and reaction video for the latest episode in Season 9. We are on Country Music Night. This is, I think, the final trio of singers from this group, and then next week we get 3 brand new ones. So whoever emerges victorious tonight, I think, will go on to the quarterfinals in a few weeks, if I'm following that correctly. But we have the Fairy, who performed last week, and we're going to hear from her again. And then we have 2 new competitors as well. So we're going to unpack the clues here in a moment, and I'll give you my thoughts. And, of course, you in the comments can give me your thoughts. Also, if you are not subscribed yet to my channel, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you aboard in that capacity. And like I said, yeah, the comments are always super important for The Masked Singer because it kind of gets my head straight on whether or not I have a good initial guess or not. And I think we learned with the Fairy that I did not. I don't think my guess was horrible, but based on the clues, should have been a little more obvious. So let's start there because that's who sang first anyway. And as they usually do with the returning champion week to week, they didn't give us a lot of clues. They gave us, sort of reminders of what some of the old clues were. But we did see, well, she did say, because she talked about her song last week, which was You're No Good by Linda Ronstadt. She said that Linda has been rooting for me since I was 13 years old. So she may be a friend of Linda's. We knew from last week she had a famous dad, so maybe her dad was friends with Linda Ronstadt. She said she has sang the song tonight that I'm going to be singing since I was 11, which turned out to be Angel from Montgomery from Bonnie Raitt. I was unfamiliar with the tune. I know Bonnie Raitt, of course, but don't know that one. But it's an old one. So this is somebody who is clearly older, which I think we were kind of thinking of anyway. And then Bill Engvall came out, since it is country night, and gave us a clue with an ace and a queen card together. And specifically said 21. He didn't call it blackjack. He specifically said 21. And then the Fairy said, with this hand, I could take you to school. All right, so as if our minds weren't made up last week from what you guys said in the comments, which I'll get to in a moment, I think this one is 100% slam dunk. And once a couple of you had mentioned it in the comments last week, I thought, well, yeah, this actually is really obvious. I can't believe I didn't think of it myself. It was one of those. But the guesses this week from the panel, Ken switched from Angelina Jolie to Jennifer Aniston, another bad guess. But he actually had some logic for this one. She does have a famous father with John Aniston, who was on a soap opera, I think Days of Our Lives, maybe, or something. Maybe I'm thinking that because Joey from Friends was on Days of Our Lives. But anyway, he's a famous soap opera actor. And she was 21 when she was on the Ferris Bueller TV show. All right, it's not Jennifer Aniston, though. Come on. That's one of the biggest A-listers out there. If anybody from Friends is doing The Masked Singer, it ain't Jennifer Aniston. All right, and then Nicole thought it could be Aisha Wonder, who is Stevie Wonder's daughter. I don't know who that is. And then Mickey Guyton, who is a famous country singer. I don't know who that is. But the panel was like, oh, yeah, that's a good guess. I don't know if that person has a famous father. I don't know what their deal is. And then somebody else said Lori Harvey, who is, of course, Steve Harvey's daughter. And she can sing. I think has she been guest before maybe on this show? I think she has. But in any event, none of these guesses are right. Last week, my guess of Tracy Ellis Ross is also not right. You guys said it in the comments, and it was crystal clear. And then today, way even more so, Holly Robinson Peete. She was the star of 21 Jump Street, so there's your 21 clue, take you to school. But we saw the police badge last week. Also, she is married to a basketball player, Rodney Peete. I think that's his first name, but anyway, so that's the basketball clue from last week. And when she said Sesame Street Night makes me feel right at home-ish because I grew up in these streets. Her father, her famous father, Matt Robinson, played Gordon on Sesame Street. So, I mean, the clues could not have lined up any better, even before anything from this week. I don't know if she knows Linda Ronstadt or whatever, but, it would make sense because we were looking at somebody a bit older, Lori Harvey has not been a friend of Linda Ronstadt since she was 13. I mean, I guess she could have been, but, Linda Ronstadt was at her peak in the 70s and 80s when Holly Robinson would have been, in that age range. Also, I've been listening to this Angel from Montgomery song since I was 11. That's an older tune, so again, somebody older. It's for sure Holly Robinson. You guys got me good on that one. I didn't love my Tracy Ellis Ross guess because of the Diana Ross thing. That's a famous mother, not a famous father, but all of the other clues really kind of did match up. We saw a Christmas tree. Holly Robinson has done a Christmas movie. I believe Tracy Ellis Ross has done one as well. So a lot of similar clues there, but it's for sure Holly Robinson. And we know she can sing. She sang the theme song to 21 Jump Street back in the day. So, all right, that is the fairy. Don't know yet if the fairy's going home, but that is the guess for that. Now, Axolotl is going home. That's the first one unmasked. So we're going to do the clues and then go to the take it off after that, and then we'll get to the macaw. But the Axolotl, who I don't even know what that is, but it's a cute, maybe fish-looking thing, perhaps. But she says, my costume is cute and rowdy, just like me. We saw pom-poms at that point. She said, it took a long time for me to get confidence. I had to transfer schools as a kid because of bullying. And then we saw a raw steak on a plate, and she said, I stopped eating. I heard a song that helped me recover, fell in love with the song, and then the man to make my life a perfect 10. I had to build myself up, and then we saw a bell dinging like a boxing bell or a wrestling bell. We saw a net as well. And at one point she did say the words total divas, which I didn't write down, but Robin pointed it out later. So I wrote that down sort of after the fact. And she sang Can't Fight the Moonlight by Leanne Rimes. And then our clue after the fact was from Robert Woods, who is a wide receiver, not familiar with him, but it was a helmet that said 2.3 million on it, and she said, this is how many people watch me while I work, and that's just on a Monday. So immediately Robin and Jenny were thinking Monday Night Raw, because we saw the raw steak in the clip, and they said the word total divas, and we saw the dinging bell. And then, 2.3 million watchers on a Monday, makes sense. And this is an athletic, but a pretty petite gal. They sort of pointed that out when the Axolotl came out. So the panel is mostly on the wrestling tip. Nicole diverged a little bit, but they all went with their original guesses. So I'm just going to cut right to the chase there. Jenny thinks it could be Alexa Bliss from Monday Night Raw. Robin and Ken both were on the Bella Twins. Robin went with Nikki, Ken went with Brie, and Nicole went with a gymnast. She went another direction and said it could be either Simone Biles or Michaela Maroney, but at the end when she had to pick one to go with, she went with Michaela Maroney. Now, I know all of these people except for Alexa Bliss. I don't know who that is. However, I think I might go with that because Jenny made a good point. Now, obviously, I think the Bella Twins are more famous. I don't watch Monday Night Raw. I don't watch wrestling really anymore, but I know who the Bella Twins are. But Alexa Bliss, rather, again, don't know, but Jenny pointed out that she is married or was or is or whatever to Ryan Cabrera. And one of the things she said was, I heard a song that helped me recover, fell in love with the song, and then the man. I don't know who the Bella Twins are married to, but that to me doesn't indicate, I think this is a person who is married to somebody who's relatively famous. Ryan Cabrera certainly had a strong musical career for several years in the mid-2000s. And that to me falls kind of into the right age range for how old she would have been at the time. I don't know whether she was a cheerleader, growing up or anything, but even though I don't really know who this person is, I do agree it's somebody from Monday Night Raw based on the clues. And I think Jenny made a better case for her person than Robin or Ken did for the Bella Twins. So I won't know what this person looks like when they unmask, but I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss. And we'll see how that takes. The Bella Twins I actually might recognize, at least Nikki. Who it is? It's WWE. It is Alexa Bliss! Jenny got me there. Thank you, Jenny. Never heard of this person. But the clues matched up. And I definitely agreed with the Monday Night Raw thing, but she made a good thought there with the Ryan Cabrera thing.
This was something that was personal for me because I have actually crippling stage fright.
Oh, I do sort of recognize her. Crippling stage fright when she's singing. Okay, she did an okay job.
So proud of myself because I conquered
Yeah.
fear.
All right, good for her. That's cool. I guess I do kind of recognize her. My brother watches wrestling, so sometimes it'll be on the TV if I'm at his place or whatever on a Monday. So, okay, I guess I have seen her before, but I don't remember that name. But that's cool. So I thought she did a fine job for someone who's petrified of singing. All right, so got that one right. Thank you, Jenny. I would certainly not have gotten that otherwise. All right, so let's get to the Macaw now. This is a guy, and he says, Macaw is flashy, confident, and sings country songs. Everything that is not me. I've been performing since a young age, but didn't start out as a passion. And we saw at that point a TV with sort of an older, like black and white, like Ed Sullivan type show. So this may be somebody who's been in the business for a while. He said, my dad would bribe me with quesadillas to perform at our local Mexican restaurant. We see the word salsa at that point. The pressure to be the good son brought me anxiety. And then we see birds that reminded me of the Twitter logo. We saw sort of that shade of light blue, also mixed in with some like more purplish birds, but they all sort of had that Twitter logo look. So I think it is something Twitter related. Then we saw arrows that were sort of spinning and ended up on the up. I learned to take a break and reset, and now singing fills me with glee. And we saw a dolphin at that point. The song was Live Like You Were Dying by Tim McGraw. Dina Carter, the famous country singer, came on and brought in a silver medal. And he says about it, it wasn't until I left the nest that I found gold. So possibly somebody that did pretty well with the group, and maybe not even a group of singers, who knows, but, and then, went solo, whatever, and had some gold records or whatever. All right. The guesses from the panels, Elijah Wood came from Robin. And everyone sort of was up in arms about that, but he actually made a couple of good cases for that. And the thing that stuck out to me the most, which he actually didn't mention until a little bit later in the discussion, is that he says about being the good son. The pressure to be the good son brought me anxiety. The Good Son was a movie in the 90s with Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin. So when he made that Elijah Wood guess, I actually didn't think it was crazy. That's sort of a little bit who I was thinking. But then everybody said, no, that's a bad guess. I don't know. These other guesses I don't think stick with me at all. Jenny said it could be Zayn Malik because of the spinning arrows one direction. But also he's been very clear and vocal about his anxiety problems. All right, it's not a terrible guess, but I don't know. I didn't hear any, British necessarily in the voice. And then Nicole sort of went really out there and thought it could be Doug Robb of Hoobastank. Look, I like Hoobastank. I've seen Hoobastank in concert. I didn't know that was that guy's name. I could, is Doug Robb famous enough from Hoobastank to, people know Hoobastank, certainly. And he does have a good vocal range. Nicole pointed that out. But, oh boy, I don't know. I think that's a tricky one. It's interesting, though, that nobody was sort of guessing somebody with Latino heritage because, he said, my father would bribe me with quesadillas to perform at a local Mexican restaurant. It doesn't necessarily mean that this person, is a Spanish speaker or is Mexican or anything like that, but I don't know. It stuck out to me a little bit because it's a shorter person, which Elijah Wood is short. We know that, in the costume. And I just thought, who's sort of a shorter, is it like Mark Anthony kind of thing? Or, I've guessed Eric Estrada in seasons past. I don't know. But the silver medal thing with Elijah Wood, I don't quite get either. Oh, yes, I do. Wait a second here. Hold on. The silver medal. Wasn't until I left the nest that I found gold. What is the big bit in Lord of the Rings? He leaves the nest, not nest, but he's a macaw, so that's the bit. Leaves the Shire and goes to find Precious, the gold ring. You know, I'm sticking with my Elijah Wood guess then. Forget it. Robin got sort of made fun of. That's kind of who I was thinking anyway. So now that I've connected that, I'm going with it. I'm gonna, you know, and he connected the dolphin to Flipper. I guess Elijah Wood was in some remake of Flipper. I don't remember that, but all right. Screw it. I'm going with Elijah Wood. I don't know if it's right, but Robin, you know, said it. So at least I'm not alone in my guess. I like that. All right, and I don't know who's going home here. We're going to find out who is going to win the showdown between the Macaw and the returning fairy. Personally, I think the fairy did a better job. I think her vocals are on point, wonderful, one of the best of the season. So I would like to see the fairy continue, but we'll see here what happens in the Battle Royale. All right, for the Battle Royale, it was That Don't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain. And listening to the voice, I actually am more confident than ever on my Macaw guess. I think it's Elijah Wood. But we will not find out this week because the Macaw actually moves forward to the quarterfinals. A little surprising because I thought the fairy has, you know, one of the best vocals, like I said, of the season. So whatever. But nope, fairy is being unmasked here. So I have the final tally of guesses from the panel. And still nobody has said Holly Robinson Pete. You guys all said it in the comments. I absolutely 100% agree with you. It is going to be Holly Robinson. But Nicole went with Jenny's original guess of Tracy Ellis Ross, while Jenny switched it up a little bit because she was thinking, well, Diana Ross is a famous mother, not a famous father. So could this be Corinne Fox, who is Jamie Foxx's daughter? Robin stuck with his Lori Harvey guess from earlier, and he pointed out that she dated Michael B. Jordan, hence the Black Panther in the clue package last week. But I think for Holly Robinson, maybe Rodney Peete was on a team called the Panthers. I don't know. And then Ken stuck with his horrible Jennifer Aniston guess. We know it's not her. But this is Holly Robinson Pete has got to be under that mask. So, I don't get the point for my initial impression of Tracy Ellis Ross, but I think, obviously if I get it right before they take it off, that's all that really matters. So if I'm right, this will make me 8 for 10. But I think it's got to be Holly Robinson from those clues, especially the 21 clue tonight. Come on. Yeah. I was a huge 21 Jump Street fan back in the day. Nick said he didn't know. Okay. I guess, yeah, we didn't talk about the blue ribbon on the book, really. I guess she is a famous author, though, too. I can't believe nobody thought of her, actually, especially after the 21 clue. 21, and they didn't say blackjack. They specifically said 21, and this could take you to school or whatever. Like, come on, 21 Jump Street, that's, obvious. All right. My Hulu just crapped out. All right, so we don't get to hear anything from Holly Robinson. All right, well, thanks, Hulu. All right, well, I'm 8 for 10 then so far for the season. The only two I missed actually were those very first guesses. Dick Van Dyke and the other person, I can't even remember now. It was somebody I never heard of. Oh, no, I had heard of her, Sarah Evans. Yeah, I would not have gotten her, though. But all these other people, I got either from the jump or by the time they got unmasked with a little help from you guys. But all right, so next week, I believe then we will see 3 brand new competitors. And we'll see, 2 of them probably will be unmasked unless they do the ding-dong keep it on bell. But we'll see how we stack up then. So thank you for joining me. We'll see you then. Bye.